Hello and welcome to Just a Guy with your social educator, your LLB, your loony left bully.
That's right. It's me, Mike D. Mike Duckerberg. We're going to do a special Friday night edition because I wasn't on yesterday. Working with a new streaming platform. Just trying to figure it out. Bear with me, guys. Once I figure it out, we'll get guests on. We'll do a lot more things. It'll be much better. So I apologize. Today, we're going to look at the January 1st terror attacks and also the Speaker of the House votes we're in today. We're going to take a look at all that here on Friday night. Right? I know you guys, I'll be out doing much more important things, much more fun things, but to me, this is fun. This is the social educators out there and growing the social educating community. This is what I love to do. Okay? So let's take a look at the two terror attacks. First, we're going to look at the one in New Orleans. Obviously, we know by now, the attack was by Shamsud and Jabbar. He's a 42-year-old U.S.-born citizen and a U.S. Army veteran of Texas. Um, by the time he drove through the crowd, got out, got to the standoff with the police, at least 15 people were killed and over 2 dozen injured from the Ford rental pickup truck. Okay, most of you know by now he drove through a crowd on Bourbon Street at a high rate of speed. What he did, if you've seen the video, was he kept driving down the street. Once he saw a area that he could pull up to onto the sidewalk, bypassed the cops and just hit the gas and drove. Um, the video is pretty devastating to see. He also planted pipe bombs in a pair of ice chests along Bourbon Street as well. Those luckily did not detonate, so the police found them and got to them beforehand. So good for them, saved some more lives. And this, uh, the terrorist, Bar, he was shot and killed by New Orleans police officers again after opening fire. So why did this happen with Shamsud bin Jabbar? Take a look at a little bit of his past. Um, Again, he was a Army veteran who was married 3 different times. After the military, struggled just like a lot of veterans do, trying to find their place in the community. He opened up a business. By the time he was married his third time, and he got his wife divorced him in 2012, I believe. Don't quote me on that one. I apologize. I don't He was over $41,000 in debt. His business was unsuccessful. He tried to start up a couple of others. Didn't happen. At this point in time, he starts to move into the trailer park in the Houston area, and this is when he starts to go towards ISIS. Okay, for those of you that don't know what ISIS means, we all hear it every single day. We just take it as a term. It actually stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. That's what ISIS is. Okay, so for those of you that didn't know, a lot of people just take for granted you know what ISIS is. It stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Now, before he went down to New Orleans, he posted videos on social media proclaiming his support for ISIS. Now, in his support in the videos and even in his will and testament that the police found later at his trailer, even though he pledged his allegiance to ISIS, this does not look like ISIS gave him the go-ahead to do it, or was actually a terror attack coming from the leaders of ISIS. Doesn't make it any better, just showing what's out there right now. Now, this is also an investigation by Christopher Wray, Deputy Assistant Director to the FBI's Counterterrorism Division. Christopher Wray is one of the right-hand men for APM Joe, so take these words as a precautionary caution there. What he said was, the view that Jabbar acted alone marked a shift, as an FBI agent had previously said that investigators were on the hunt for others. So now they're looking at other people besides just him. Not anymore. They're saying this was a lone wolf job, just like the the assassination attempt on President Trump, just like the guy that was hiding in the bushes trying to shoot President Trump. So apparently this is just another lone wolf killing. So we'll see. We'll see again when it comes from Christopher Wray. No offense, I tend to be very, very skeptical of what comes out of that man's mouth because we know, he played a lot of political games as the assistant director of the FBI. Okay, doesn't mean the people that are working for the FBI they're actually doing a job, not doing a great job. The soldiers, the guys that are out there every day, making a difference for the FBI. You guys do an amazing job. I don't want to put the entire FBI down because there are still many, many good agents out there doing the job, doing the right thing, trying to keep America safe. All right. Now, when they invaded, not invaded, but when they searched through Gabar's home trailer, they found bomb making materials. They found the bomb making station. They found Bibles, Qurans. They found entries proclaiming his devotion to ISIS. So this is something that he obviously had in mind, and even before the social media posts, he was on his way to New Orleans to do what he did. Previous social media posts, he actually came across as harming family and friends. He didn't believe that by doing anything to them, that would make an impact in the way he views the Muslim religion and the fact that people are basically going to be going to hell because of the way that the world is right now. So he thought that he needed to make a bigger impact. And this definitely was going to make a bigger impact than just harming friends and family. Now, again, this is all based off of what we're getting from reporters and from the FBI and everything else. So this is just stuff that I'm relating to, whether it's being reported properly or not. I'm just giving it to you how it is. Okay. Next one that happened was obviously the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. This one again, a Army veteran, 37 years old, Matthew Leibelsberger. He was actually renting a Cybertruck in Colorado Springs, drove it to Nevada, and packed with fireworks, mortars, and gas cans. Okay, obviously trying to blow up a bunch of people, including himself, in the surrounding area. All right. So he killed himself and injured 7 others. So the only person that actually ended up dying was Matthew. Okay, which is good. Looking into Matthew's past, he was 18 years in Special Forces. He attained the rank of Master Sergeant, which is quite high. That's up there. Okay, it's like an E8. He had no Islamic ties to Islam, ISIS, mosques, anything like that. So he wasn't like Gabar, where he proclaimed his life to ISIS. So it's a little bit different. So you can actually see when Christopher Wray said that there's no ties between them because there's no ISIS or Islamic ties to Matthew. It might very well be right. He did pull up in his Cybertruck that he rented and sat there and detonated everything. And you see the explosion on video. It's pretty bad. Just to double check and make sure, Elon Musk's, obviously that's his company, they took the exploded Cybertruck and made sure that it wasn't some sort of an accident on that truck. They said that everything went fine until the moment of explosion. So obviously this was purposely detonated. And again, the only person that was actually killed was the mom. Okay. Now, the only connection that seemed to be between the two attackers was again they're both Army veterans, and they both coincidentally reportedly served at the same military base. And they didn't name the base, whatever base they were on, my guess if it's Texas or another Fort Hood or something like that. But just because they're from Texas doesn't mean that that's the base they should have been. So, but there was that one time that brought them two together was they actually did serve at the same military base. But I don't there's even a um, theory out there. It was actually offered by one of the op-ed writers at Town Hall. Whether you believe it or not, this is just something to take a look at, because he was an avid Trump supporter, even the first time in 2016. Even though his wife was an avid Bernie Sanders supporter, he expressed his support for President Trump. So the fact that he went down to the Trump International Hotel, a little bit different. Obviously, Elon Musk is tied with Trump, with the president's campaign, and the Cybertruck. Who knows? But this reporter from Town Hall, doing the op-ed piece, offered a different approach. Not saying he's right, he's just offering a different approach. What if this was more of a suicide mission? Because obviously he spent 18 years in special forces, and the exposure was pretty bad. But knowing what he would know about explosives and how to blow things up as a special force person, I think he makes a point that he probably would have done a better job. But then again, the Cybertruck was built pretty well, so maybe he thought he did a good enough job. So one reporter is offering the possible idea that maybe this was a suicide mission and maybe just trying to get it. Okay. Again, is that military? Never know what triggered this response. Okay. So there's not too much more information about it right now. Just wanted to get that out of the way, tell you what I knew about it, and kind of look at now that we've had a couple of days and have the FBI and everybody else look at it. There doesn't seem to be any sort of coercion or them working together at all. And even in the case of, again, Jabbar, it doesn't look like, even though he gave his devotion to ISIS, that this came from ISIS leadership. Okay. Doesn't mean it didn't. Just saying it's a moment in time. Right? Now let's focus on something a little bit more positive. At least if you're not the loony left. If you're not a communist, a socialist, a Marxist, we're going to focus on something much, much more positive. They went and they voted on the Speaker of the House today. Now, if you saw my past episodes where we talked about how the loony left was talking about we don't have a Speaker of the House, we can't move forward, we can't have Trump inaugurated, we can't do the January 6th opening of the electoral colleges and actually certify him as president. So they were all giddy about that. Of course, we showed you that the Speaker pro tem could, in fact, do that and call the House a session. But today was day number one of voting for the Speaker of the House. Of course, going into it, we all know Speaker Mike Johnson looks like he may not get it. He needs 218 votes. They only have 220 Republicans. Matt Gaetz was expected not to show up because he had his own show on OAN now, so he was not expected there. So that brings it down to 219, and there's 215 Democrats. Now, that means Johnson can only lose one Republican vote. Now we know Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky, Republican from Kentucky, made it very, very clear. He's voting against Johnson. He said, come hell or high water, I'm not voting for Johnson. Okay, so there's the one vote we know that he's going to lose. Here's the problem. Representatives like Chip Roy, Republican from Texas, and about a dozen others, they're saying that they're going to continue to negotiate with Johnson all the way up until the very first. So up until pretty much yesterday, maybe even today, who knows, Representative Chip Roy and about a dozen others were talking with Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, to see if he can possibly persuade them to vote his way. Of course, President Trump gave the endorsement of Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, as well, so that's going to help out, I'm sure. Right? So they're supposed to meet at noon today to start things off and then go ahead and vote. And they get up to 3 votes today. But if they don't do it today, then they'll have to reconvene at another time and then see if they can elect the Speaker of the House. All right. Now we know that it took a little bit for him to get elected the last time. It took several votes back. I think it was about 6 before he actually got the nod. And a lot of people think that he's too soft and he's not going to support Trump as much as needed. So they convene noon, 2:35 p.m. Votes closed. Mike Johnson receives 218 votes on the first ballot. So no second ballot needed, no third ballot needed, no another day needed. Guess what, Looney left? The Republicans voted in as Speaker of the House. So guess what's going on January 6th? All that crazy talk that you guys were talking about, delaying January 6th, not certifying President Trump because there's going to be no Speaker. That's done. Done. Bye-bye. So listen, Looney left. I know you still got your panties in a bunch, you election deniers. You're still trying to say that he caused an insurgence and he's not allowed to be President of the United States. You election denier. Keep it clean. So here's what you need to do. AOC, the radical Muslims in Minnesota. Shut your trap. Certify the president. And do your damn job. Capiche? That's what you got to do from here. All right? You didn't like it when President Trump questioned it. You were okay when when Hillary Clinton questioned the presidency back in 2016. So here you are again in 2024. Shut your mouth. Do your job. Get over it. To all you loony left, socialist, Marxist, communist, loony left House of Representative people out there. Shut it. Nobody cares. You lost by a landslide. America don't like you. Get on board. America's going to be sane again. All right? So let me explain how this went down. Originally, when they first started collecting votes, he came up to 216. What happened was Representative Ralph Norman, Republican of South Carolina, initially voted for Representative Jim Jordan from Ohio, a Republican. And then at the last minute, he flipped the vote to Johnson. Another representative, Keith Self, Republican from Pennsylvania, he cast his vote for Representative Byron Donalds, Republican from Florida, but then also flipped his vote, which gives him D2-18. Representative Thomas Massie, you know what? He held his word, man. He held his word. He said, you know what? I'm not voting for him. And he voted for Tom Emmer. Okay? Got to give him credit. Still, I think he did the wrong thing there, but got to give him credit. He's a man of his word. Okay? Which we can't say about the other side. We'll get into that in a second. Now, as far as Representative Jim Jordan and Representative Byron Donalds, I think both of those guys, I have no issues with people supporting them. I think Representative Jim Jordan is a fantastic representative from Ohio. I think that Representative Byron Donalds from Florida, fantastic. Either one of these guys would have made great speakers of the House. So, yeah, they were thrown into contention, and it was between Mike Johnson, Jim Jordan, and Representative Byron Donalds. I would have been happy with either of the three. Okay, so it's not like these Republican or the South Carolina and the Pennsylvania representatives pick somebody that isn't worth voting for. They both originally picked people that are very, very worthy and could do a great job of speaking of the House. So if it was those two, either those two or Mike Johnson, I would be very happy with either three. Okay. So Mike Johnson gets up and he says a daily prayer, just because this is what he does. He's a man of God, guys. People ask him, how do you live your life? He says, open up the book, read it. That's how I live my life. Okay? He's very, very devoted to Christ. Right? So he reads the daily prayer in front of Congress. And in his acceptance speech, he says, and I quote, we will defend our nation's borders. That's our number one priority. Right? So it sounds like he's on Trump's side there. Right? Going to defend the nation's borders. Right? Because we've seen the number of illegals that are coming in. We've seen a number of illegals killing people, raping women, going out, kidnapping, all the child molestation, all the child sex rings that are going around. This all has to stop. Okay, we've seen a couple people get caught on fire, beat down. I mean, it's ridiculous. We've got the Argentinian gang that's coming in and taking over motels and apartment buildings and things like that, and spreading it across the United States. This has to stop. All right, and Speaker Mike Johnson understands this and is making that his number one priority. Now, of course, when he said that, the loony left just a handful. Clap. Very half-heartedly, too, by the way. Not like a resounding clap, just oh yay, like a little golf clap. Yay, I guess we should clap, right? So Mike Johnson, in a little quip, he looks over at Democrat senior leadership, Hakeem Jeffries. Now, remember I told you, at least Representative Massey is a man of his word. This is the first lie from the loony left already. Because Mike Johnson looks over, he looks at Hakeem Jeffries, and he goes, "You said you would work on that with us, Hakeem." Meaning, having the proper respect for the speaker and the president. All right? And he looks at him, and he goes, "Counting on it." And Jeffries did not bat an eye. So you already see that Hakeem Jeffries and his loony left communist, socialist, Marxist friends are already starting out in the very first session of the 119th Congress lying. It's not a surprise. It's what they do best, right? It's what they do best. They lie. Okay? So we shouldn't be surprised, but I just want to point this out. By 3 o'clock p.m., 3 hours after Congress is in there voting, you've already seen your very first Democrat, socialist, Marxist, communist lie, which is Hakeem Jeffries told Speaker Johnson they were going to work at the respect thing. Obviously not happening. So, I don't know. Speaker Johnson, listen to me. If I were you, I would show the loony left no respect whatsoever. Right? They want to disrespect you. You no longer have to show them respect. I know these are men and women that you work with. Great. Fantastic. Don't give them a single chair. Don't give them a single vice chair. Hold them down. Make them beg. Make them plead. Because you know what? You've got a mandate. Very small mandate in House of Representatives. We got a mandate as a party. And if they're going to show you that disrespect after you've been respectful to them, there comes a point in time there, Speaker, when you just have to flip them the bird and tell them, put your panties on. It's going to be a long, tough couple of years for you. Because you don't want to show me respect, guess what? I'm going to hold you down. I'm not going to show you any respect whatsoever. I know Mike Johnson's not that kind of guy because, like I said, he's a man of Christ. He's not going to do that. But I want to see him just a little bit of a mean streak in him this time around, okay? See what you can do for me, all right? Not that we're best friends and I know him at all, but, maybe he's listening. Who knows? On the last part of this, I just want to say, Representative Vasquez, of course, like I said earlier, he was not expected to be there. He was on his show, OAN, and he actually went on X today, and I'm going to read it verbatim, okay? I don't want to take this out of context for Matt Gaetz, but on his X account, he said Mike Johnson will be elected Speaker today on the first vote. So that man knew, Matt Gaetz, that Speaker Johnson was going to be elected as a Speaker on the first vote. Show you how smart the man is. So, good for him. I hope Matt Gaetz is very, very successful on OAN. I hope that he continues to do great things. He was a great representative before all this crap happened. He was going to become the Attorney General. Who knows, here in the next year or two, you may see Trump pull him aside and put him in as special counsel. We don't know. We have no clue. Trump's always doing things that is 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of everybody else. So we'll see what the president does. We'll see what Matt Gaetz does. But just to reiterate, your new but same Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, elected, 218 votes, first ballot. Congratulations. Again, that means January 6th, the House is in session. That means January 6th, the Senate and the House will come together in a joint session. And Bordaza, Looney left, all you socialist, Marxist, communist, election deniers, shut your mouth, do your damn job, certify our president, and then get the hell out of the way. That's it. Simple as that. I don't want to hear any bitching, I want to hear any moaning, because when the shoe was on the other foot, you guys were talking about how we're election deniers, we need to get over it. Get over it. Done. Capiche? Done. That's it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. As always, head over to Rumble, Just the Guy, Mike D. Head over to YouTube, Just the Guy. Like and subscribe. Help us out here. We're trying to grow this social educators, right? The whole army. We're trying to bring them on. We're trying to make it grow. Again, in this army, guys, we don't have any woke generals. Okay? We just got military army of social educators like me, like you, that are going to go out and educate people as to what's really going on here in America, as to what the real facts are, helping everybody understand how the media is lying to them, and helping America stay great again. So for each and every one of you that are out there, appreciate it. Love every one of you. You know I'm praying for you. Until next time, Mike Zuckerberg out.